Welcome back to Mystery Films. Today, I am going to explain the 2018 Indian Hindi language comedy drama movie called Hichki. Spoilers ahead, watch out. The movie begins as our protagonist, Naina, is waiting impatiently to be called to the office. Aside from tapping her feet and fiddling with her pen, something else about her shows that she is nervous. It's an impulsive cha-cha sound she makes, like a hiccup. She is soon called in for her interview, and the funny sounds continue. As she is questioned, the sound comes up continually, cha-cha. Her interviewers ask her about it, and she explains that her condition is called Tourette's syndrome. As you can imagine, her interviewers say they will get back to her, which is another way of saying she won't get the job. She tries many more, but is rejected at every place. Cha-cha. She is interviewing for a teaching job. When she was much younger, her classmates would make fun of her. She couldn't control it, and it became a source of embarrassment to the point where she would stuff some tissue in her mouth to muffle the sounds. Her father wanted her to go to a special school, while her mother preferred she be integrated into a regular school and learn to live a normal life. And no one cared to ask what Naina thought, or did they? Back in the present, her family is at dinner, and her father presents her with a bank job opportunity, but she rejects it and is insistent on getting a teaching job. Cha-cha. When an argument is supposed to begin, she gets a call, and it seems she has been accepted, and she shouts for joy. You should see the look on her father's face. She is at the school the next day for some preliminary orientation. When the principal asks her why she is focused on getting a teaching job, she cites a school administrator who encouraged her. She is then taken to her class, and it's 9F. And her students seem different. One of them has lit a cigarette, another has brought along a cage of rats, yet another has transferred some home cooking to school and is dicing some vegetables. There is also an aspiring rapper and some gambling on the side. Irrespective of all these negative signals, Naina smiles. Good luck with that bunch. She'll need it. The recess period is over, and she is waiting at a class as her 9F students arrive. Cha-cha. The hiccups are still happening as they introduce themselves during attendance. As expected, the students make light of her condition, but she handles herself well, and the students appear to respect her attitude. And then she tries to sit, and oops, her chair gives way as they all laugh. One or two of her students are involved in a fight at recess on another day. Akshay is singled out for the principal's office. Soon afterward, her students get into a pranking phase. They seem to be on a roll, from making flammable sticks to filling up the classroom with smoke, but then they overdo it by exploding nitrogen in the class. The whole school hears the boom, and some windows are also shattered. The entire 9F class is sent to the principal's office. He wants to suspend the whole lot, as Mr. Wadia, a high-ranking teacher, has suggested. However, Miss Naina does something brave. Cha-cha. She defends their actions by saying they were only practicing what they learned in class that day. She even boasts that they will pass their exams with flying colors. Mind you, if you don't know by now, 9F is only a quota for students from the slums, so they'd rather not be there. Back in the classroom, Miss Naina tells them some home truths. Later on, after school, the students are gathered to have an honest conversation with themselves. Their decision is made clear the next day as they file into the classroom. Miss Naina smiles inwardly. Ah. In other words, her students want to give education a chance. The next day, they are taught in an outdoor setting. She tries to explain one of Isaac Newton's laws to her class when the issue comes up of how only 9A students can aspire for prefectship. The following day, she goes to the principal's office to challenge the rule. Wadia, the honor student custodian, is there too and doesn't like where Naina is going with this. Now she has to ensure her students score as much as 90 and above in their exams to qualify for prefectship. Next on the school term agenda is the visitation of parents, but her students' parents are a no-show. She has been seated all day, but then decides to leave. On her way out, Wadia accidentally gives her the idea to seek out her students' homes. In other words, go to Mecca if Mecca can't come to you. So one by one, she visits her students' homes and meets their parents. They are slum kids from poor backgrounds, with varying situations. Their lesson will be held at the gym class on the next school day. Her plan today is to point them to their potential. She singles out one of her students who likes gambling. It turns out he's a math genius and is good with numbers. The same thing goes for the rest of them, because their domestic life can be channeled to some intelligence at school. She tells them to write their dreams and aspirations on a piece of paper and then fold it into a paper plane and let it fly away. Yes, according to Miss Nina, things can be serious and still be fun. Wadia, however, doesn't share that view. A kind girl from his group invites the 9F class to come check out their project. Sorry to say, but 9F students end up schooling 9A students until Wadia arrives and sends them away. This embarrasses Hichki in front of the girl he has a crush on. He goes to the library to pick a fight with a 9A student. Miss Nina separates them. Later that night, she is out at a fancy dinner with her family, and an argument with her father is barely averted. It's her brother's birthday. Hip, 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 hooray. The next school day, 9A is showing their science fair project to a selection of teachers and the principal for approval before they show it at the fair. But something goes wrong and it explodes. Wadia finds a tiny bottle that may belong to a 9F student. He goes over to confront them, and they all keep their traps shut in solidarity, so it is off to the principal's office again for the whole lot of them. They are all outside the office as their form mistress pleads their case. Wadia wants them all to be expelled, but Miss Nina begs on their behalf and wants her students to at least be given a chance to take the final exams. The principal weighs both sides and then decides to study for the exams at home. In other words, he has suspended them till the day of the exams. This is a win-win for both form teachers. Now she has to tell her students the outcome. They are disappointed, not least at Hichki, who they were covering for. Miss Nina finds somewhere private and goes into a hiccup frenzy. Cha-cha! That evening, her students gathered and resolved to make her proud. There is even a group hug in there somewhere. She is at lunch sometime later with her brother, who has arranged a reconciliation meeting with their father. Just then, her students come milling in. They say they are sorry and also acknowledge what she is trying to achieve with them. It's supposed to be a touching moment, and Nina's father experiences the whole thing. So it's bye bank job connections. Now they have no option but to study at home. Miss Nina also helps them out as a sort of traveling teacher. But before D-Day, Hichki is approached by a man who has leaked copies of the exam paper. Later on, he shows it to his classmates, but they unanimously decide it's not for them. They will not cheat even if it's handed on a platter. The exams arrive as students take paper after paper. Soon enough, the results are put up on the notice board. And surprise, surprise, the whole 9F class passed. Or maybe it's not much of a surprise because we saw it coming. But what happens next, we didn't see coming. The leaked exam script was a setup. Wadia is accusing 9F students of cheating, and Nina denies it all. But there is proof that one of her students bought in. The principal decides it's enough with these 9F students and expels them all. It will all go down at the next school assembly. As Wadia leaves the empty class, one of his students tries to tell him something incriminating. Wadia has the sense to read between the lines. When the assembly is called to expel the 9F students officially, Mr. Wadia changes his mind. He says the leaked exam scripts were fake, so by implication, 9F students never cheated despite their high scores. In other words, their show of intelligence was legit. Also, a prefectship is well-deserved for one or two students who had the highest scores. Wadia gives Nina's line back to her. There are no bad students, only bad teachers. Preach, brother. The 9F students still have yet another surprise for their proprietors. They have recreated the science fair project from earlier and even improved it. Wadia is lost for words as they present it to him. Miss Nina is now seated on the principal's chair, and trust me, she's not play acting anything. The clue is her hair is gray now. Yes, she has since become the principal, and it's her last day ever at the school. As she leaves her office, she is greeted by students and staff lining the corridor outside. When she gets to the end of the line, she sees her original set of students, all grown up. It seems they all did well for themselves. Good for them, and thank you, Miss Nina, for believing. The end. I hope you guys enjoyed the recap. If you did, give us a like and share the video. Don't forget to subscribe. Till then, bye and take care.